Welcome, my name's Bren. Thanks for joining me in practice today. You can find lots more mindful movement and yoga classes at practicewithbren.com. We'll start this Hatha practice in a seated position. Any kind of comfortable seat will do. Find yourself with a long, tall spine, and we'll start to cultivate some inward focus. Maybe you let out a sigh as you settle into your practice. Eyes could soften or close. And we'll bring some awareness towards the breath. Next time you inhale, notice, I'm breathing in. When you exhale, notice, I am breathing out. And sometimes this simple narration can be enough to bring us back into the present moment if and when we become distracted. See if you can watch 3 more cycles of breath go by here. You could start to blink the eyes open if they've been closed, and we'll roll through the shoulders. You might inhale, shrug the shoulders up, and exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Keep rolling the shoulders. You could also make some movement in the wrists and hands. Letting out any pops or cracks that happen to release here. And we'll make our way towards tabletop. Find your hands and knees position with attention to strong, stable hands and shoulders. So palms are flat. Make sure the base of your index finger is connected down into the mat. Fingers can be spread wide. And instead of our usual cat-cow, I'd like us to move in a wave or a ripple motion today. So can you start from the tailbone? Tip your tailbone up, arch through the lower back, then the mid-back, then the upper back, then lift the chin, look forwards. Starting from the tailbone, round through the lower back, mid-back, then the upper back, then look down between the thumbs. Go ahead at your breath pace. When you inhale, roll the spine up. When you exhale, wave the spine down. A couple more repetitions here. If your thinking mind has wandered off, what a great opportunity to use the breath awareness to come back to the present. After that next cycle is complete, we'll set up for our downward facing dog. That same intentional strength and sturdiness through the hands. Hips reach up and back. Knees as bent as you'd like. Imagine some length happening. Your hands are pressing the mat away from you as your tailbone reaches up and back. So your hips and your hands are reaching in opposite directions. Just like we practiced in our tabletop, we're going to ripple forward. Lift the heels high and wave yourself forward into high plank. We'll practice our 8-point pose. Set the knees down, set the chest down, keep the elbows close, and either chin or forehead touch down on the mat. Hips are up in the air like an inchworm. We'll wave ourselves forward, tops of the feet down, front of the legs down, front of the hips down, belly down. Lift your chest and head, roll the shoulders back for cobra. Press up and back to downward facing dog. We'll practice that 2 more times. From down dog, ripple forward into high plank. Hands are strong and sturdy. 8 points of contact, knees, chest, and chin. Tops of the feet down, ripple forward, lift up into that cobra, and press up and back to downward facing dog. 1 more time, just like this. meeting in downward facing dog. Start to walk the feet up towards the hands for Uttanasana near the top of the mat, knees as bent as they need to be. Again, with that wave-like motion, bend the knees and ripple yourself all the way up for Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back and down once you arrive in your standing mountain pose. In Tadasana, come back to your breath awareness. You might narrate your experience. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. Watch 2 more cycles of breath pass by. Urdhva Hastasana. Reach the hands up as you press the feet down. So hands and feet reach in opposite directions. Engage your seat muscles. You could reach up and back. Add a little bit of a controlled back bend. Take 1 more breath here. From here to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Upper body melts down over the legs. Bend the knees till your hands can touch down. The right foot takes a big step back into low lunge. Set the right knee down. Climb upright. Find yourself with square hips, front of the pelvis points to the top of the mat. And engage the lower body. So your left foot and your right knee press the earth away. Top of the head reaches up to the ceiling. This should take a bit of work. Make this an active, engaging low lunge. Hands go behind the head. We'll add a little twist. Elbows stay wide. Start to turn your chest towards the top left corner of the mat. Keep all of that engagement with the lower body. If it's available, you might rotate a little farther, chest towards the left side of the mat. Elbows stay wide. You are breathing in. And you're breathing out. With that same amount of care and control, unwind out of your twist. Reach the arms up to the ceiling. If you'd like to challenge your balance, you could look up between the hands, feet press the mat away, fingers reach up to the ceiling for 3, 2, and 1. Hands sweep forward and down to touch down on the mat. Left foot steps back into your downward facing dog. Here comes our flow to 8-point pose. Ripple forward into high plank. Hands are sturdy. Knees, chest, and either chin or forehead touch down on the mat. Elbows close. Tops of the feet down. Ripple forward into cobra. Press through hands and knees and up to downward facing dog. Walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Uttanasana. Take a moment here. Upper body melts down over the legs. Gradually roll yourself up to standing, meeting in Tadasana. Find your breath. Urdhva Hastasana. Hands reach up as your feet press down. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Hands touching down, the left foot steps back. Find your low lunge, left knee down. Climb upright. Add a bit of scissors power with the legs if necessary to keep your hips square to the top of the mat. Make this an active posture. Hands go behind the head, elbows are wide. Keep pressing down with the left knee and right foot. And start to turn your chest towards the top right corner of the mat. See if you can keep your elbows pointing left and right of you. Keep all that engagement in the lower body. Maybe you rotate a little bit farther. Unwind and reach the hands up for Anjaneyasana. Fingertips reach up while your feet and your left knee press down into the mat for 3, 2, 1. Hands touch down and you step back to your downward facing dog. Ripple forward into high plank. 8-point pose. Ripple forward into cobra. Press to downward facing dog. And walk to the top of the mat. Uttanasana. Upper body melting down over the legs. And gradually press through the feet and lift yourself up to Tadasana. How would it feel to take a deeper, slower breath? Urdhva Hastasana, feet press down, hands reach up. If you like, add that back bend by engaging seat muscles. Keep the length, lean back a little. Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Hands touch down, right foot steps back. This time it's our high lunge, so the right knee stays lifted. Once you're ready with the lower body, climb upright. And we'll start with Anjaneyasana, fingers reaching up to the sky. See if you can square the hips to the top of the mat. Press down with both feet. And we'll start with a gentle twist. Keep the left knee bent. Right hand gently rests on the outside of the left knee. Left hand can reach for the lower back. You can look towards the left side of the room. Maybe you look towards the back left corner of your mat. Keep your lunge legs. Another option for your twist is left hand on the back thigh, right hand reaching up for the ceiling, looking at that back corner of the mat. Keep the left knee bent. We're breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Unwind, Anjaneyasana, both hands reach up, press the mat away with the feet, and we flow to downward facing dog. Ripple forward into your high plank, 8-point pose. Cobra. Downward dog. Find your breath. And walk your feet up towards the hands. Slowly roll up to standing. I am breathing in. And I'm breathing out. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Left foot steps back, setting up for a high lunge. When you're ready, climbing upright. Anjaneyasana, fingers reach to the sky, both feet press down, pelvis is square to the top of the mat. Keep the right knee bent, gentle twist, left hand to outer right knee, right hand to the lower back. Look to the right or look towards the back right corner of your mat. For a few more breaths, you can stay here, or you can reach the right hand for the back of the thigh, left hand reaching up to the ceiling for 3, 2, 1, unwind, Anjaneyasana, to downward facing dog. Find that sturdiness and strength in the hands. Palms are flat against the mat. Tailbone reaches up and away. Walk the feet up to the hands for Uttanasana. And roll yourself up to standing. Turn to face the long edge of your mat and take a wide stance, setting up for Prasarita Padottanasana, our wide leg forward fold. Let's start with hands on the hips. Feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. Get a little bit taller, top of the head growing up towards the ceiling. And hinge at the front of the hips and fold forward. Blocks might be handy if you have those at home. Fingertips reach down for something. Knees can be a little bent if you like, starting in this sort of halfway lift position, long spine. And then if it's available, you can fold deeper. Maybe the top of the head points down towards the floor. Keep the legs active. You might come back to that simple narration of breath. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. And we'll start to walk the hands over towards the right foot. Some folks might hold on to the right ankle, or you might simply crawl your fingers towards that right foot. See if you can keep your hips centered as they were. Resist the shift in the hips. One more breath here. Start to walk your hands back through center and over towards the left. Keep the legs active. Resist that shift in the hips as you reach your hands towards the left foot, breathing here. Release the hands, come back through center. Find that halfway lift position with a long spine. Hands come to the hips, bend the knees a little. Use the power of your seat muscles to lift yourself upright. You can shimmy your feet towards each other and we'll meet back at the top of the mat. Find your intentional stance, find your breath. These are the sensations of breathing in. This is how it feels to breathe out. One more flow, you can find Urdhva Hastasana. Your hands and your feet reach in opposite directions. Uttanasana, fold in half. Bend the knees till your hands touch down. Step back into your downward facing dog. Strong and sturdy hands. And once more, we'll lift the heels, ripple forward into a strong high plank. Pause here for an extra 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The knees touch down, chest and either chin or forehead. Keep the elbows close in our 8-point pose, pausing here. Top of the feet touch down, ripple forward into your cobra. Elbows stay close, hands press the mat away. And here we're going to lower down into our Sphinx. So step your hands farther forward. Forearms and elbows touch down. Maybe elbows go beneath the shoulders. See if you can soften the lower body. We'll pause here for a few cycles of breath. So shoulders and chest are active. See if you can release some tension in seat muscles and legs. How would it feel to take a deeper, slower breath? And we'll press ourselves back into child's pose. Big toes touching behind you, hips are heavy, resting towards the heels. Find a way for the forehead to rest down either on the mat or on stacked hands. Perhaps you've had a few opportunities to practice coming back from distraction, returning to the sensation of the breath. Lift yourself up into a seated position. We'll find square pose. Start by crossing the legs with the left shin in front or on top. Sit up nice and tall. You might already be feeling sensation in the outer left hip. That's great. If you'd like to feel more sensation, keeping your spine long, we'll start to add a forward fold. So we're looking for some stretch in the outer left hip. Both sit bones stay connected to the mat beneath you. Let's watch 3 more cycles of breath here. Start to climb your way upright. Then we'll go to the other side. So this time the right shin is in front or on top. Find that length in your spine. Keep both sit bones connected beneath you and fold forward any amount. You're looking to feel some stretch for the outer right hip especially. Bring yourself back through center. Extend the legs ahead of you and we'll lie down on the back. We'll meet there with knees bent and feet planted. You can widen your feet towards the edges of your mat and tip both your knees at the same time over to one side. They come up through center and fall to the other side. When you feel like you've evened yourself out, extend the legs fully for Shavasana. Arms and legs extended. Adjust as needed. Find a reasonably comfortable position. We'll spend about 1 minute here in some relative stillness. So adjust as needed. And do what you can to settle in. Bring your awareness back towards your breath. The mind will wander, that's fine. When you notice it's wandered, come back to the breath. How does it feel to breathe in? What does it feel like when you breathe out? Can you count down 6 more cycles of breath? Coming back to the breath. You might start to deepen your breath and wiggle fingers and toes. It might feel nice to draw the knees in towards the chest or wobble around a little bit here. You might roll to one side and pause there for a few moments. When you feel ready, we'll meet in a seated position. Acknowledging this time you set aside in your day today. Remembering how it feels to breathe in and breathe out. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.